Don't forget to like and subscribe to Evolve MAP. Hello, it's Amber. Let's go over the Renumber tool within Evolve Electrical. Before renumbering any of our elements, let's go through the settings for our Renumber configuration. So first, when it comes to our dialog box, I want to point out that this is a user-based dialog box. A lot of times you're going to see the word project, and those settings are saved to the Revit file itself, and everybody has access to it. Where with our user, it's going to be based on the user itself. So keep that in mind when creating your Renumber rules. Also down here, you have pretty consistent settings throughout when it comes to Evolve dialog boxes. We have our save grid state. We also have the ability to add new, delete, duplicate, and also export the grid. Speaking of export, we do have our export and import in feature. Especially with it being a user, definitely recommend it being exported and imported in if need be. From there, we have our order. Then we have our description. So listing out whatever you want to describe your rule being. Then we have our element filter. Definitely recommend getting comfortable with our element filter. Element filters are going to be throughout your software itself. So first, list the category and define your rules. Next, we have our prefix. This is going to be starting how your actual Renumber is going to look. So your prefix, your starting value, and your suffix. Then you can specify your right to, so you can specify the parameter, and you can also process nested elements. From there, just make sure it's enabled. Next, let's actually go over how to create a new rule. So first, enter in your order. I want my order to be number 1 just because I want it to first look at this rule itself. My description, I'm going to do a 1-tier hanger. Within my element filter, I'm going to look for the category that I want. So in this situation, I'm going to do conduit fittings. And with my rules, I'm going to do a parameter being my family. I'm going to say contains consistent value, and my value is going to be 1 dash tier dash because I'm going to look for all of my single tier hangers. My prefix, I'm going to keep it kind of simple. I'm going to do L1 dash 1 TR because I'm going to indicate that these are all going to be my 1 tier hangers on my level 1. My value, I'm going to do 001 for my starting value. And for my right to, I'm going to do my mark. Next, I'm going to also want to do a Renumber rule for all of my 2-tier hangers. And instead of having to create a whole new one, I'm just going to duplicate my 1-tier rule. I'm going to adjust the description and say 2. I'm going to go into my element filter and update my rule as well. And I'm also going to update my prefix. So when creating a new rule, just think about what kind of elements that you want to renumber and be able to define those rules themselves. Next, let's actually go over running the command itself. So we have our renumber feature. You can see it says assigns part number values to elements. Also, this feature has the little asterisk or the star by it, which means if you hold down shift, it'll let you do something different. And what this does is allows you to force reset of starting number values on completion. So let's select on our feature. Let's go over it. Again, these are going to be user applied Renumber configuration, and it's going to be my name here. You can also come right into here to be able to pop up those settings themselves. Let's go over this. We have a renumber, so renumber elements, renumber by spool, renumber elements by service, and then within our options here we have select run to specify order and select element to specify order. You can also export and import it as well. So let's close out of this and open a different view and actually run the command itself. So there's multiple different ways that you could do this depending on how you have your rule set up and what you're trying to renumber itself. I could easily come in here and have renumber elements and come in here and select my elements itself one by one. Or I can go into element filter and create a rule to find all of the elements that I'm trying to renumber and renumber them that way. So I already have a rule set up to find all of my hangers. So I'm going to select all of my hangers themselves. And now I'm going to rerun that command. So let's say renumber elements. Let's renumber elements. Press OK. And there we go. So you can see within this view here, we have our hangers have now been renumbered. Let's pull up our evolve properties just so we can see this again. So you can see our mark is now that L1, 1TR, and then the number that it is. So in this case, 018. Let's go over here. You can see we also have that mark changed here as well for our 2 tier. So that is the Renumber tool within Evolve Electrical. If you have any questions or want to see more, please visit our website and request a demo. Thank you.